My name is Rosa Martinez. I am the curator of this exhibition that Spazju Kreattiv is presenting. This is Austin Camilleri's first solo show in 10 years in his own country, in Malta. He's using different languages to express the beauty and the difficulties of the process of creation. In this exhibition, the whole show is divided into 4 rooms. This is the first room, and here we have a classical sculpture in the sense that the artist is using a model who has been his source of inspiration. This is a very famous swimmer, Olympic athlete. His name is Neil Adjus, and his scale is bigger than the usual one because this is the linguistic element that was used by traditional sculpture to enlarge the admiration that we have to have for our real heroes or mythological heroes. This installation is composed by individual single paintings. Each one of them has 2 sides. One is an abstract side and the other one is white, but it has some dots like bas-reliefs, which represent in fact the places, the maps that were creating these maps where the immigrants from Gibraltar to Lesbos had sunk into the Mediterranean Sea. The material he has used to create these paintings is his own passport, which means that he himself is an immigrant, that he himself is a traveler who, at the time when Malta was not part of the European Union and he was living in London, he had to go through his passport and through all the stamps and through all these regulations that create borders for human beings between the countries. The second room of the exhibition is like a secret chamber, is like a sacred space, because it shows the process of creation, the doubts of this process that the artist has until he achieves what he really considers as a finished piece. All these are images, sculptures, drafts of a major sculpture that is in the public space in Valletta. This room is like a prayer. It's like a respectful prayer to the work of his ancestors. I mean, all the big sculptures from the past, his own grandfather, and his own process and his own difficulties to create the beauty that we will see when we see the real leva at Palazzo Castellania. In the third room of Spazju Kreattiv, we have another artwork by Austin Camilleri. In fact, there are 2 artworks, which are 2 different ways of understanding contemporary sculpture. One is one video with 2 screens, 2 projections, and the other one is this propeller, which is already made. It is not something sculpted by the artist with his hands, with his tools. It's something that it was already existing and it belonged to the boat of some migrants that sunk in the sea. And the big difference between this situation where the pilot that is driving, the driver that is guiding this boat, is that he has 2 people who come to save him. And the difference is that the travelers, the migrants traveling in this boat, they had never anybody who helped them from drowning. This is the 4th and last room of the exhibition at Spazju Kreattiv. And here there are works that also refer to contemporary sculpture, to this concept of enlarged art and enlarged way of creating art, which is performance. In this piece, Austin created a model of the Teatro Real, suffering all these dramas in the history of the theater, are reflected in this model that was used by the artist, by Austin Camilleri, to create the performance that has been documented and reflected here in this 3-screen video. And then we have left this small window open so the visitors can see the real theater here. To finish the exhibition, there is another reflection on architecture and on sculpture and on monumentality and on colonization. And it is the figure that we don't see there because it is the profile, it's all in black. And it's a statue, it's a sculpture that all Maltese know very, very well, which is the statue of Queen Victory, which is in front of the National Bibliothèque of Malta. So the idea of democracy, public space, public use, public rights, of using the different materials to create, and the message that can be sent from the public sculpture to the public. We can see it also in this room with the connection between private space or closed space and public open space. And we will see it also with the new sculpture of Leva that is open to the public in the niche of Palazzo Castellani. Here we are at Merchant Street in the city of Valletta, and we can see a new sculpture that has just been installed in a niche that was traditionally empty because it belonged to the old Court of Justice of Malta, Palazzo Castellani. Leva is a monument to hope, a monument to the idea that this world can be changed and should be changed, and that women, we have strong power to preserve life, to preserve the Mother Earth, to preserve the babies that we can carry in our bellies. So we have and we must have this power to make a more egalitarian world.